Hi, so today, as promised, I'm going to go over some information that was provided to me from a friend of mine when I was discussing the amnesia grid that's around our planet, and she had an entirely different perspective on it. And in understanding her perspective, I also was triggered then to experience the idea that I talked about last time, being in the victimhood stance or having a victim hood lens on my vision of the world and a perspective of my reality, which I have since taken off. And now I just am so amazed with the information, how it's flowing again for me. And I'm just taking judgment away from how I'm receiving the information. So I've put out a new mantra that I am going to trust that the universe will bring forth the highest vibration of truth to me as I take in this information, and I, without bringing any fear in or having me see it from a fear perspective, and that I vow to employ discernment as the information comes in. So with this new mantra, I am very excited. I'm seeing things in a whole new light, and I'm also excited to say that I really see that this amnesia grid is going to be disclosed to humanity. I can see steps being taken by different people who are exposing the truth. And I see this clear path of providing this information. So it's quite incredible. All right, so to get to that, I wanted to read to you what my friend had to say about the amnesia grid and why she believes it was constructed. So I think it's pretty powerful. I want to start in kind of in the beginning here, because I just like to give a little background when I talk, and I don't want to just loop you in at a random spot. So she's basically talking about her awakening. I want to kind of leave some of it private because that's hers, but she explains then she is basically enrolled in a class, and the class is about Atlantis. So I'll start from there. She said that the teacher described every detail of the she had been having dreams and visions, and this was all described during the class, and information she had been confused with by herself. And then she said, then a dam broke. I started remembering Atlantis, who I was, what I did, the heaven on earth we created to live in, and all walks of intelligent life forms. I cried for a week, remembering the end of the Atlantis at the final end, when it finally fell. When I pulled myself together, the spirits told me, we, meaning the collective whole that we are, the social memory complex, all that we are here together on earth, agreed to recreate Atlantis as part of the Earth experiment. Only this time it would be better. We had to dismantle or destroy the matrices that supported the atmosphere, which would lower the frequencies of the planet. So now we're getting back into a vibrational frequency, and I'm always talking about that at some level, how we are energetic beings, and we are expressing and experiencing through electromagnetic frequencies. So energy, frequencies, here we are. So we're talking about lowering the frequencies of the planet. This was completely purposeful because we believed it was a glitch or imperfection that needed to be examined and rectified in order to rebuild Atlantis in a better, stronger, more effective way. It was necessary for us to dial back the frequencies of the planet to one of the lowest levels of creation so we could conduct this experiment and have an understanding of how to improve and rebuild better. So if we're infinite awareness, right, and we are beings that are always have been, always will be, we are infinite, then this type of practice is just something we're doing to expand our soul. So I can see at a very deep level how, if you know your infinite awareness, then to just go on this little trip to learn some new lessons and to rebuild something to make it perfect, why not do it, right? Because we have an infinite amount of time to experience and express life. So she then says, when Atlantis fell, many of the intelligent life forms left. Most humans died, and the planet reconfigured itself, slowed its frequency down to third dimensional spectrum frequencies, and we started the journey to rebuild over. This was approximately 13,000 years ago in linear time. So we spent 13,000 years incarnating into third dimensional frequencies to examine and understand fear-based energies from every angle. It was a joint effort. Any soul born into a body on planet Earth was in on it. The only way for us as incarnating beings to have an authentic experience, to really experience fear and darkness, was to close many of our communication pathways in our own energy fields and experience spiritual amnesia. We had to forget what we knew in order to be true to ourselves and to the collective, to have authentic experiences. So if we don't have our memories, then we can play an authentic game with one another here, and in roles and different dramas and different experiences. She said that was also tricky because it is very difficult to unknow something. And basically we are all masters. We are all infinite awareness. And to pretend we are not, for the purposes of finding the imperfection that we missed last time we built Atlantis. So we had no choice but to block our own memories. So we were forced to set up elaborate mechanisms that kept us vibrating with third dimensional frequencies. Now, we don't need those mechanisms to keep the facade in place. Many of the truths, or partial truths, as much as people are ready to hear about those mechanisms, are coming to light. Politics, religion, financial markets, wealthy, powerful families that run the world and control the masses, big pharma, war, genetic engineering, were all created to hold the parameters of 3D and make it a very real experience. Anything that doesn't align with the new higher atmospheric frequencies in the coming decade will fall apart and be released. She then goes on to say it took her a long time to understand this. She said it was all planned, at least the skeletal structure of the last 13,000 years, but not the details of the examination, because we've had different things. So then I want to get into so what she actually did is what I really wanted to talk about there was the amnesia grid. So she's saying that we constructed the amnesia grid for ourselves so that we might have this authentic experience. And when I'm watching different people and taking in different information, I can see that this is actually more of a collective. Like Ike talks about that Ra and the Elohim and the ascended masters and the archangels, that we're all in this experience together. Like we're all in this holographic illusion together. And so Errol, when we're looking at the alien interview, she's coming in actually from a different dimension, and she says that even in her writing that she's coming from elsewhere. So that, her perspective on our situation is one where she thinks we wouldn't have been willing to take part in it. And maybe I think it was a grand plan, and I think things kind of went a little awry. And I do think in some ways that our reality was hacked and inverted. But since everything is of the one, and we are all one, and we are going back to the one, it has to be perfect in its own time. Now, something else that has really been interesting to me and kind of stuck out, and I've seen in a lot of shows recently or movies have been brought forth into my consciousness about time looping. And when I was speaking back and forth with my friend, she did discuss the multiple cycles of experiencing this. And then when she talks about it as the Earth experiment, and then we go in and she talks about she sees a total of 7 cycles, and that this can take over a tremendous amount of time, like thousands, millions of years. So what I'm gathering is that, and I have this reading that from the Elohim Masters from last spring, and they kind of say the same thing about this time looping, and they said this is a new timeline that we're in, never before experienced by any of us. And he said this is the end of 3 of 3 cycles, but that a new 4th experience was birthing and coming forth for everyone on all levels to experience. So basically, the Elohim are experiencing it, the Ascended Masters are experiencing it, and we humans are experiencing it. So it's a collective of all of us together that are going through this mass awakening and shift in our consciousness, and it's very exciting on every level. Like even the reading I listen to often that was recorded for me, they say it's a very exciting time even on the Elohim level. So we have a lot going on. There's a lot of positive things to look at, and we just have to clear our lens. We have to make sure that when we're receiving the information, we're not judging it through a lens within ourselves that has brought misery or sorrow or grief to us. And we continue to do that by processing our emotions that are held unconsciously within the body. And what I want to suggest is that you purchase the book Feelings Buried Alive Never Die. I think it's an excellent starter for understanding how emotional aspects or emotional pains, wounds, trauma can manifest physically in the body, and then we experience these ailments, these diseases, colds, injuries, physical disabilities, you name it, self-sabotage, overeating, alcoholism, drug use, all these different ways that we try to sedate ourselves or numb ourselves or not process the emotions that are within our body. So once we start to dig into that and start to heal ourselves within, go within, because the journey is an inner journey to the heart of our souls, into coming into our heart space in our bodies. And today, before we're over here, I'm going to blow my my love tuner here, my love whistle. It's calibrated to 528 hertz for to vibrate at the frequency of the heart chakra at the tune of love. So I've been playing this a lot, and it's really been opening up my heart center, which is just so exciting. So I do coaching. I can help you get through what you're going through. If you emotionally have some wounds you're ready to process and get out of your cyclical patterns and start healing and letting things go, I am here. You can call me. We can do it over the phone. We can Skype. I would love to just Skype like this, or one-on-one. We can have a conversation. We can do group settings and conversations for people to come together, because we all resonate at different, when we come in and do the healing, we always are going to resonate on the same issue. So if I'm working on you and we're processing something deep within you, I also understand that I'm processing it within me, because we are one. So it's always going to resonate with me and whoever else is in our collective group working on this. We got start with Feelings Buried Alive Never Die. It's a fantastic book. It has a good mantra to start with, and it starts to show you all of the ways that the different emotions create disharmony and dis-ease within our body. I think it's a great starter. So thanks for showing up today, and just stay positive. I'm super excited about the information, and as I heal myself and I take off these lenses of darkness or victimhood or sorrow or grief, I just am so excited with the information that's coming in, and these light waves are going to continue hitting the planet. More information is going to continue pouring out, and I see how full disclosure is going to be released. So I'm incredibly hopeful, and I'm here as your guide, your teacher, your friend, your sister, whatever you need. I'm here, and I love you, and thanks. Have a great day. Oh wait, I want to blow my whistle, right? I said so. So I think tuning is always important. I also use crystal song bowls. So here we go. Have a beautiful day.